Good evening, Earth. This is Adam Sturch broadcasting from the Mushroom Mansion House, New Mexico, working on oil painting abyssal lights. Alright, I've set out some glazes, 7 very thinly mixed glazes, including the white that will be the core, when I start going back for the final layer of detail on top of these spring string entities here, little cylindrical schools of beings that swam up towards the end of this trip. Actually, it was very interesting. Very much in line with, if not too similar to, the self-transforming machine elves of Terrence fame. But they were more cylindrical, and I couldn't really figure out a good way to render them because they looked like translucent fish, but cannish, and as they twisted, they kind of lit. So I compromised with just using the linear line work of their lighting as they were twisting and swimming, rather than rendering the entire edge, which would make them look a little cam-like. And I didn't like that for compositional reasons. So I got 7 colors, and we're going to light those all up, different colors. And, oh well, you know, not all different colors because there's 10 of them, plus the ones in the distance, which will be just dotted random colors. And then after I get each one glazed, I'm going to go back with the white and light up the core, a pure bright light to exaggerate and accentuate the glaze.
Cigarette light, automobiles, hood ornaments, sculpture, grill work, and then you can just instantly, you can say Italian Baroque. And in a single moment, you know, you're at the church at Santa Maggiore and seeing all this gold work and all this stuff. And then you can say, surprise me. So, you know, what kind of a dialogue is this? And what kind of an entity is this? Is this part of the spiritual quest? Is this off in its own domain? The language of ayahuasca, a way in which ayahuasca and psilocybin slice it differently, is psilocybin actually speaks. There's an informing voice. It tells you. The language of ayahuasca is visual. It shows you. You become like the eye of a cinemascopic camera. And after a good ayahuasca trip, you just feel like your eyes are sticking out of your head. I mean, it's like going to Madison Avenue to buy art or something. You've looked at so many prints, and you've just looked and looked, and you've been looking and looking, because that's how it does it. And you know what I said on Friday about the more perfect logos, this thing which is visually beheld. See, what we're doing is we're mucking about in the domain of profound mystery. And I really can't help you. I don't have answers. My one answer is my little time wave, which I'm willing to share with you. But ideas in this domain are a dime a dozen. I mean, my dream was always to catch an idea, because I saw that that's what the psychedelic thing was. And some of the ideas are tiny ideas, amusing and preposterous, but utterly worthless. And then the large ideas leave you just little like that, because they go by and tear your nets to shreds, and your main concern at that point is to row for shore. But every once in a while, there comes one of manageable size that you can actually wrestle into your little boat and take back to astound everyone in the village there. And the time wave, I have the feeling that in the DMT ecstasis, that the time wave gets about a minute, about 3 seconds, because they say, look at this. You say, oh wow, that's amazing. Say, look at this. Say, my God, I've never seen anything, but look at this. And each one of these are, your amazement is genuine, and your reaction is correct. You are being shown the most amazing things you've ever seen. It's simply that you cannot retain what they are. So the goal is, first of all, to be there, to know about it, to draw strength from the evidence for magic then the higher calling is to be a hunter, to find something, to bring it back. I mean, if that's a little too meaty a metaphor for you, well, then think of yourself as a noetic archaeologist. We want to bring back an object, a flower from hyperspace, a machine from another world. And apparently the easiest things to bring back are ideas. And so we have to pay a lot of attention because ideas can cross the barrier. Very little else can. But if we pay sufficient attention, I think much of these ideas can be brought across, and we can bring all. Nothing is unfair. I mean, computer graphics, voice-operated tape recorders, anything that works. I mean, we've hit the main vein of ideas out there in hyperspace. And the goal is just to fill our knapsacks as full as we can and get back to base. I guess really, I mean, I'm about to wind it down now. The real point of this month, and I have to keep clearing it back and reminding myself and you, is that we've discovered something, and that we don't know what it is, and that we're like the monkeys in 2001 dancing around the monolith. But this is important. I mean, that's almost all we can say at this point. But it's very, very important. The world will never be the same once the implications of this are worked out. And since I believe a lot of its impact is going to be in psychotherapy, and I see you guys as probably many of you will be psychotherapists or therapists or doctors, you're going to have an impact and be involved in it. But basically, we're just clearing a space for a discovery. And it's a hard discovery to announce because we don't know what we've discovered. We just know we've really discovered something. Fire must have hit with this kind of impact. Look how long it took to work out what you could do. Well, that's it for today. Thanks very much. So since this is a fairly small group and I'm feeling fairly confident, I'd like to talk about language today, and I will attempt to open this with the performance, which is something I rarely, never do. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wave. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the money rats outgrave. Beware the jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the jump bird, and shun the Permeus bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand. Long time the maxim foe he sought. So rested he by the tum-tum tree, and stood a while in thought. And as in uffish thought he stood, the jabberwock with eyes of flame came whooping through the tulgey wood, and warbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through his vorpal blade went snicker-snack. He left it dead, and with its head he went galumphing back. And hast thou slain the jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. Oh, frabjous day, Callooh, Calais, he chortled in his joy. It was brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wave. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the money rats outgrave. That's worth hours of the other stuff. Well, I assume most of you recognize that as Lewis Carroll's Jabberwocky, which was an example of verbal intentionality and syntax overcoming absence of ascribed meaning. This is what's happening here. That the intentionality of meaning is so great that it overcomes the absence of conventional definition. And we've been talking a lot in this section about language and the origin of language. And we've also been using language in a fairly free, in some cases unusual, and in some cases outrageous manner. So that's what I meant when I said it made sense to examine the tools. We are particularly neurologically outfitted for the production of small mouth noises, rapidly modulated small mouth noises. We can do this, I've proved it myself, for hours at a time without exhaustion. And what is going on there is that rather than the rippling of plumage or the rubbing of hard body parts against each other, since we don't have any hard body parts to rub against each other most of the time, communication in our species has taken the form of neuromodulation of small mouth noises. Now these small mouth noises are transduced into acoustical waves, a physical phenomenon which moves from point to point in ordinary Newtonian space. The acoustical pressure wave strikes the ear. The ear conveys the particular unique signature of that arriving acoustical wave into, for what of a lack of a better term, we have to call the mind. And the mind takes this acoustical
Well, I hope that wasn't blurry the whole time.
with
But
an imprinted
anyway, I guess I'll check that before I post it. And just hope. But that sets up all of the spring string entities with a bright, glowing aura. But that's it for the moment. Thank you for watching. That's Adam Sturch broadcasting from the Mushroom Mansion, Taos, New Mexico, working on oil painting abyssal lights. Have a good night, Earth.